What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time joining me today, my name is Noah Cavanaugh and I'm a pro soccer player from Seattle, Washington. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through on the internet what it looks like to get recruited to be a professional player. If you're starting from ground zero and you actually don't know where to go, you don't have any connections or anything like that, I'm going to show you what I would do if I was in your position, sitting here in front of the computer with no notes, no Google searches, nothing like that. So we'll walk through the process. I'll obviously show you a screen recording of my computer as we move through these things. And hopefully this is helpful for you guys to see what I would do if I was in your position. And obviously the first things that you want to take care of before we do any of this stuff, you want to have a CV or a resume. You want to have what's called a highlight video or a highlight reel, something that shows off the talent that you have, whether it's defending, attacking, special skill moves, whatever. And then of course you want to have at least connections to a previous coach or maybe the phone number of a coach that's coached you in the past. So without further ado, guys, let's hop into the video. All right, so we're gonna make this really quick and easy. I'm gonna run you through, shouldn't take too long, hopefully like 10 or 15 minutes to get a little bit of kind of content for you guys as far as on my own computer, and then we'll go in and explain what that all means. So we'll probably hop into the computer now. So as you see, I've got a Google home screen in front of me, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to Google, we're just gonna Google Usl Championship Teams Map. So I've already done that, and we're just gonna go in here, click on that first one, and what I'm gonna do is, if you can see in this corner, hopefully bring it up maybe again, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get all of the USL Championship teams that are closest to me. So if you can see as I'm looking right here, we've got Tacoma Defiance, Sacramento Republic, Oakland Roots, LA Galaxy 2, San Diego Loyal, Orange County FC, I think they're called now, Las Vegas FC, Real Monarchs, Phoenix Rising, New Mexico United, El Paso Locomotive, and Colorado Switchbacks. So that's basically divides the western and the eastern half of the United States. I'm actually pretty sure that's Western and Eastern Conference, but either way. So that's maybe the USL Championship. So for those of you who aren't from the United States watching this video, that's the second division in the US. That's a professional league right below the MLS. So I'm going to look at all of these. So as you can see, I made a list of, it's not San Antonio United, it's New Mexico United. Perfect. So I've got a list of those teams right now, and I'm just going to go down the list to see who has trials, what type of information I can find out, whether that's emails, phone numbers. I'm going to put it all in this notes, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to start emailing those clubs. So obviously I won't do that right now. I'll make another video on how I would go about doing that process. But for right now, what we're going to do is we are going to at least get a bunch of contact information plus dates for when they're doing trials, if there are any. It is the middle, or at least it's actually towards the beginning of the USL Championship season. So I'm going to be a little bit kind of probably unsuccessful as far as open tryouts go, but we might actually find something. But at least this gives you a process of what's going on. So let's get back into the thing here. So we're going to go, I'll just exit out of that. So we'll go back to Google and we are going to type in, let's see, Tacoma Defiance Tryouts. So a couple things come up: Tacoma Defiance, roster, recruitment. Obviously, Tacoma Defiance is actually a affiliate of Seattle Sounders FC, so this is in pertaining to their academy, so it's not actually Tacoma Defiance. So we're just going to go into the Tacoma Defiance, and we're going to see what we can find. I'm going to be really quick about this because you can actually save a lot of time by knowing what to look for. So this is obviously just news, that's schedule at a glance, sign up today to stay informed. So that's probably information right here that's not about tryouts or anything. It's about how good they're doing in the season, etc. Season tickets. So that's all stuff that I don't want. All the way down. Okay, so we got a phone number here. So we're going to go like this. We're going to copy, go back into our notes, Tacoma Defiance, phone, and then like that. Okay, so we got one phone number. And I have no idea where that phone number, what that phone number is, but we'll figure it out. At least we got a contact for them. So these are all tickets, news, schedule, roster, information, Cheney information. That's their stadium, partners, and contact us. Let's go to the contact us page. And it looks like they've got a fax, they've got an address, they got president, vice president, let's see, email. Okay, cool. So this is actually really cool. So sales, marketing, communication, corporate partnerships, stadium team operations. So I'm looking for maybe even the president of the club. Let's see. Yeah, so president. So maybe what I'll do is I'll go like this and I'll say email Aaron, copy email address, and then I'll go back into my notes and say President Aaron Artman, and then I'll put, there you go, we are, the letter R, that's funny, Tacoma. Okay, so that's an email. So again, all we're doing is looking at different things. So then maybe we'll go over to a roster and see what I can find. Sits at 20 players at the start of USL Championship, 4th season. Head coach, here we go. Let's see if we can find some sort of contact. Athletic trainer, nothing. Okay. So we've got a bunch of different like players here, which is actually could be really cool. So if you're super ballsy and you want to go in and you want to say, you know what, screw it, I'm actually going to go and contact the players on DM. What you can do is you can just write down these names and find them on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and actually go in and DM them and say, hey, I'm so and so, I'm looking for a team for the next year. I've played at this places. Was just curious if you guys are holding any open tryouts or any invite-only tryouts. A lot of you have actually asked whether you can get like free tryouts. Usually no. You usually have to pay for them. You either have to pay for them, or if they're quote-unquote free, i.e. you don't pay for travel, you don't pay for anything, it's an invite-only tryout, and usually those tryouts happen with teams that are selecting individual players to take from wherever they are and bring them to that club. So if, for instance, I got, because I live in Seattle, it's a different story for Tacoma Defiance, but let's just say I was from California somewhere. Tacoma Defiance saw me and said, we really want this kid, we really want this guy, we're going to invite him for a week out trial. Then they would contact my agent or contact me directly and say, here's what we're going to do. So usually free tryouts do not happen. Okay. So that's Tacoma Defiance. Again, we've got a phone number. I don't know who that's for. We got an email, the president, and then you usually can find some of the head coach and technical staff. You might be able to do some research. So if we just said Wade Weber soccer, and we go into, so he's the Tacoma Defiance head coach. He's on Twitter, contact, Seattle Sounders. So we're just going to hop into the Sounders really quick. And I'm just doing this for the one team. Okay. So it doesn't look like there's any thing on him here. However, what I will say is now that we're in the Sounders thing, which is their MLS club, what you can do is you could go in and look at all of the, community, academy, schedule, tryouts, recruitment. So if you go into recruitment for the Seattle Sounders, this is for academy recruitment, but usually it works for the USL Championship too. Sometimes they have open tryouts, but the Tacoma Defiance in particular is actually kind of a farm team for the Sounders. So let's kind of go back to our list and say, okay, so that's Tacoma Defiance. So let's go, I want to see Oakland Roots because I actually played against Oakland Roots back when I was in LA Force. So let's go get out of this one and go Oakland Roots tryouts. And remember, you got to be really ruthless with this stuff. So we're going to go, okay, so know your roots, cool website, get out of here. Their media stuff is actually really cool. More than just a club, meet the team, news and updates. Okay, this is a really cool site. Download the app. Ooh, they're Puma sponsored. That's interesting. Okay, so we're going to go to the contact page, and we are going to type in, we're going to see if we can find, oh no, that's going to pull up mail. Okay. So that's fine. Info at Roots. Copy address. Cool. Goodbye. Okay. So we're going to go info at Roots. team. Okay, so they have their whole setup going for them here. Trying to find something on there. Let's see. Let's actually go head coach, first assistant coach. Okay. Maybe assistant coach. Can't click on him. Jeremy Clark. Jordan Farrell. Okay. So it looks like, wow, they are really news, partnerships, purpose, tickets. Okay. Let's see if we can find anything here. So it doesn't look like they have much on their website. We're going to go back into the Google search. Both tryout dates have been filled. Okay, so we're going to go, I'm jumping into Twitter just to show you kind of what this looks like. So this was back November 15th. That was a while ago. So sometimes on Twitter, you can find those open tryouts, Roots sign, open tryout, Facebook. February 11th, 2020. Okay, this was, oh no, Sports Club. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, so it is pretty difficult here. There's also, I know a couple of different YouTubers have done like LinkedIn pages, and you can connect with people over LinkedIn and stuff. Sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. But yeah, if you go to the verified Facebook page and you contact them and you kind of see what's going on there, that might help a lot too. But we can, let's see, North Cal Premier, Oakland Roots, Jordan Farrell, that's him. Okay, NorCal, blah, blah, blah. That's information I don't need. Okay, so as you can see, it is very difficult. But what I would do is I would start contacting. So let's just actually use that as an example. So Jordan Farrell, there we go. And I'm actually going to go into LinkedIn. And we are going to go away. Find a person. Jordan Farrell. Is that nice? Yeah, cool. 2 L's. Oops. All right. No, that's not what I wanted. Goodness gracious. There we go. Okay. So here we go. So he is on LinkedIn, Oakland Roots Sports Club, University Pacific, yada, yada. Join to connect. So I can click there and I can see all of his stuff. He was with Sacramento Republic. That might be also a good place to start. And just looking into some of his things, joined a view full profile. So what I would do is I would log into my LinkedIn profile, go in, find all the coaches of the teams that I was interested in doing, connect with them, message them, and just say, hey coach, here's my CV, here's my resume, and here's my highlight video. And what I want to do is I really would like to have a trial with your team. Are there any upcoming trials? He may be able to connect you. Sometimes they may not respond, which is totally fine. But if you keep sending messages every couple weeks and you just say, hey, this is what I want to do, this is what is going on, it will be much easier for you to get a hit. So people also view, so on this page as well, just on LinkedIn, so director of partnerships at Oakland Roots. So there's an assistant coach at Oakland Roots. Director of player personnel and first team assistant coach at Oakland Roots. So right there, you've got 3 chief revenue officer. First assistant at Oakland Roots. You've got co-founder, Oakland Roots. Experience, Oakland Roots. Coach and technical director, yada, yada. So you've got all these people that you can contact to say, hey, when are tryouts? How can I get involved with the club? What do I have to do to get on a squad and get on your squad, or even get an opportunity to play in front of you? Now, if you really don't want to do team-specific stuff and you're having trouble, kind of like I am, the next thing that I would do is I would just go Pro Soccer Combines USA. Just because I'm from the USA. Okay, so right away, we have PSC, AX Soccer Tours, Path to Pro, Midwest Soccer Combine, U.S. Soccer Talent, Pro Soccer Combine for Chicago Fire, MLS. Okay, so right away, let's check out a few of these. Obviously, I'm not like telling you to go to these things, but I definitely will give you kind of an idea. So you can click on this thing, Pro Soccer Tryouts, and again, this is not sponsored. I'm like not. I will be very critical of these things. So placed directly in front of attending coaches and scouts. Soccer game of opinions. Okay, cool. I don't care. Okay, so here you go. So let's just see what upcoming events. So let's just go look in there. Past 11 years, 475 professional placements at the event. Cool. Okay, upcoming soccer tryouts. Here we go. So we've got one in Phoenix. We've got one in New York, Orlando, Houston, LA, Atlanta. So it is right now May 17th. Let's do the quickest one that I possibly can. Let's do the one in Phoenix. So I'm going to read more. And we're going to go in, and all we're going to do is just kind of look. So date, there you go. So June 7th, 8th, and 9th, 3 days. That's not bad. It's a $450 cost. That's pretty expensive, but it's for 11v11 showcase games. So a lot of these are just like scrimmages, and then it's in Arizona. So packages, ooh. Combine, VIP package, video package. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I think what this is, showcase directly as well as PhD agency, trials, as well as multiple locations. Okay, cool. So my understanding of the way that these guys work is you go and play 11v11 games. So for a lot of people who aren't in a semi-pro or an amateur setup, what you can do is you could go to this soccer combine and you could do combine participation, VIP package. You could do the discounted one. So you would get video, and you would get like, maybe they would make a highlight reel for you and something like that. Otherwise, you just pay that $450 to go to the soccer trials. That doesn't include housing, food, and travel to get there. So unless you live anywhere close to Phoenix, you'd have to probably fly or drive a long way to get there. And so that's, I don't know. Okay, so signed trial directly with professional European American teams in attendance. This looks kind of scammy, but yeah, okay. But to be fair, if it's something that you literally last resort and you have $450 to go play 11v11 against a bunch of other random people, by all means do it. So Arizona Pro Soccer Tryout attending club, Charleston Battery, Sweden 2nd Division. Okay. Arizona, let's see. Tryout attending scout, David Irvine. What I would do is I would actually go in and look at this guy and see like what he actually does and if he's legit and whatever. Olympians FC, okay, and then Worldwide Recruitment, PSG Agency. Okay, so let's go into services and actually figure out women's combine, showcase, tours and trials. Oh, interesting. Okay, so they have a pro UPSL. Okay, UPSL's not pro, so that's bullshit. Private training. Wow. Okay, so they do a lot of different things. So it looks like what they do is they're a FIFA licensed agency. So they've got the agency part of it. Then as an agency, they have tryouts and trials and training, and they've got their own affiliated team. It looks like they have a PSC football club, which is in the UPSL, not a professional soccer league, so don't get weirded out about that. They've got the European residential program, which usually means you pay to fly over, you pay like, a little bit of money, and you get to train in front of coaches, which is something that I did in Spain a little bit. It's something very similar to that, to what I did in Spain. And I will tell you, if you're good enough, great. But and this is all about self-awareness here, if you think you're not really sure and you're just looking for that last ditch effort, I would not do something like this unless you were absolutely desperate and you had the cash to shell. So that is something that I would think about. So let's do, so then you can do these like 3-day tryouts, 11v11 games, showcase and work with professional coaches. That makes sense. European tours, you can do all sorts of things there. And then this is probably... My guess is this agency is you have to get signed with. So if let's just say you go to one of their pro combines and you have you do really well and a team's interested, what they will do is they will say, hey, instead of signing directly with a team, why don't you sign with us and then we'll represent you to be on that team. A lot of these types of agencies work that way, which isn't good or bad. It's just kind of whatever you're thinking. But obviously you don't want to get scammed into paying more money than you need to. And then obviously private training, which I don't know. Okay, so they're California based. That makes sense. So, okay, so that's one. Let's get out of these two and let's go. I'll keep this one up. Pro Soccer Combine USA. Let's go back to that one. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So that's that PSC. And it looks like they have a list of these clubs. And when sometimes, especially in these types of situations, when a club says, hey, we have Galatasaray coming, it's usually like Galatasaray's from Turkey. They have the U.S. regional representative from, California or whatever, who's scouting for Galatasaray in California, who's like an affiliate of the club. It's not actually like a club member or an actual scout from the club, if that makes sense. That's, at least in my experience, that's what it's been. It's either been somebody who has affiliations with a bunch of different clubs, but they put the Galatasaray logo there because that's like a thing. Or what it is it's a situation where they can call themselves like, oh, Galatasaray's coming, but it's not really. Basically what it is it's that person is just coming to watch, and then they can contact the people who actually work for Galatasaray and say, hey, we're going to go and we found this kid, whatever. Let's go to Path to Pro. I've heard some good things and some not so good things about these guys. So the best of who's next. Opportunity, San Francisco. Ooh, wow, that's a long way away. Okay. Path to Pro Combine. Do I recognize anybody in this? This dude looks really familiar. Okay. Anyway, full list, who we are, alumni, agency, squad, shop, podcast, partnerships. Okay, let's figure out what the 2022 Path to Pro Combine looks like. Okay, so here's pretty easy. So have a promo code, birth year, address, previous club, college, university, shirt size, highlight video. Oh, Gio Vasquez. I played with Gio. Gio's a cool dude. He's a really cool dude. Who else is Path to Pro that I know? Doesn't look like anybody. That's so funny that Gio's on here. That's super cool. Okay, so Path to Pro Combine. Oh, here we go. So designed to give elite players an opportunity to be seen. So January 7th through 9th, 2022. That is a long way away. So if you don't want to work... Okay, first things first. Before you do anything, any of this research, get on a team. I don't care if it's an amateur squad. I don't care if it's kick around with your friends every day. Get on a team. Get game minutes in. 11v11. You have to be playing. None of this stuff matters unless you actually are playing currently. And act just with somebody. It doesn't matter who, okay? So all of our combines are invitation or application only, which basically means if they like what they see on your highlight video, which is why it's so important to do a highlight video, then they'll say, yep, we'll invite you, we'll come over, great, fantastic, sounds good, have a nice day, we'll see you in January. But because it's such a long way away, I am sort of like I don't know. Like I would definitely try to apply for it right now if I was fit. Obviously, I've got a cast on right now or a boot on right now because I won't be healthy. But to be fair, because I'm with OPSM, but Path to Pro is a little bit different. But what I could do is I could say, hey, it's May right now, might as well apply. And then if it costs anything, then I can decide whether or not I actually want to make that payment. But at least I've applied. So this might be a good opportunity just to apply, see what happens. But that would be cool. So you can go into the squad. You can see where. So obviously they've done some trials with some people. Wow. What? Oh, they must have played the Sacramento Republic. They must have played their second team. Because that's a USL Championship team. And I don't think Path to Pro is going to be... Maybe I'm wrong, though. Who knows? Okay. Dominican University, they played a bunch of different stuff. And then here you go. So you got like head coach, technical director, assistant coach. Do the same process you did with the LinkedIn, but then go through and do it with these coaches as well. That's super, super, super easy. So that is a path to pro. Now let's do that search one more time. Soccer Combine, USA. Path to Pro, Midwest Pro Soccer Combine. Let's check them out just because they are rating really high on Google, which means they're either adding a bunch. Okay, so Midwest Soccer Combine, December 2021. So that's actually, okay, very cool. Let's see what pro clubs are attending. Okay, so you got Chicago, New York, Portland Timbers, and Sporting KC. You got a lot of USL Championship teams coming, a lot of USL League One additional to be announced, and then some international clubs. I don't know who any of these are. They look like, yeah, I don't know. Okay, clubs who attended in 2018. That's pretty cool. So you got Timbers 2, you've got all sorts of stuff. Chicago Fire. Wow, that's a big Tormenta, Colorado Rapids. Okay, so you got a ton of things. So it looks, I mean, again, websites can be deceiving. This website is really well laid out. Event details. Let's go 2019 schedule. So let's just see what last year's schedule looked like. December 19th. Check-in. Fitness testing. Lunch. Warm-up for match 1. Match 1 and match 2, which means you only play that one. And then stout. Okay, so that's kind of cool. And then match 3, match 4. 5 and 6, you get 2 matches the second day. Okay, so it's only 2 days. Scout registration. No, that's not for me. Next event is December. All events to be hosted in December of 2021. Okay, cool. And about combine staff. Where is the event details? Facility. Legacy Center Sports Complex. Oh, it's in Michigan. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is all to say, I'm just getting away from myself. Anyway, content for you guys. Basically, what this is you can go in, you can look online, you can go direct to the clubs. And as you can see, it's pretty difficult. And keep in mind, I'm making this video for you guys when a lot of clubs are actually in season. So there's not going to be tryouts. There might be individuals from agencies that will get invited to a trial for a week or two because a lot of players will actually come in during the season and trial with teams. That's one idea. So if you want to get connected with agencies or get represented by an agent, that's a whole different set of processes that I can make a totally separate video about. But this is what I would do if you were starting in the US or any other country for that matter. You can do this search on Google. Google's an amazing search engine, and we're really lucky to be able to use something like this. But what I would do is I would go in and I would search combines. I would search open tryouts. I would search every single team in the US if you possibly can, or whatever country you live in. I would search maybe some stuff in Canada because I live in the US. I'm pretty close to Canada, so that maybe that's an opportunity for me to play. There are all these different things that I would go through similar to what I've done. And then what I would do is I would go into my notes and I would fill out, like I have here with just the Tacoma Defiance and the Oakland Roots, fill out and get a bunch of information as you can. Have a checklist of all the staff, connect with all of them on LinkedIn, really, really grind and get through that. And then you can go contact everybody. And I promise that at some point you will get you'll get somebody to hook. You'll hook somebody and they'll go, yep, here's our tryout. Okay, cool, sign up for it. Or you got to wait till the end of season. Or maybe they see your highlight video and they go, wow, we actually need a player of your status or your caliber. We actually would like you to come and play with us. Come for a trial for a week. You've got to pay your own flights and food and housing like Airbnb or hotel or whatever, but we'll allow you to come for a week, which is an ideal situation. So that's what I would do. Hopefully that helps. That's just the way that I would go about it. Because I'm represented by OPSM, a lot of that intermediary steps are already taken care of, and all I have to do is do some research on the upcoming trials or go to their own combines and then go from there. So that's kind of how things would work. That's kind of it, guys. If you have any questions, comment them down below. Or if you have any ideas for follow-up videos, I have a few that I'm going to create, one of which like, hey, once I've got contacted with a coach, what do I do? How do I actually contact them? Once I've made that initial contact and they've responded to me, what do I say next? I'll make a video on that one later down the line. But again, right now, I just wanted to give you guys an idea of the way that I would go about starting from ground zero. Again, if I wasn't represented by OPSM, I wasn't involved in anything else, and I didn't have really any connections, then this is how I would do it. I would just go based on the internet, go on LinkedIn, go on email blast as many people as you can, solicit the advice and or connections of anybody in the soccer community that you know. It's a pretty tight-knit community, and I know that there are people out there who are definitely willing to help. So that is kind of it for the video, guys. Thanks again for joining me today. I know it's been a little bit of a longer one, but hopefully you can watch this and kind of see what the process is like, get some value from it, and move on and get that contract that you guys are all looking for. So as always, guys, be awesome, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.